By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Welcome to another episode of Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic. And today we are in the beautiful Conegliano, Italy, for a match played at the Prosecco Cup. Yes, so I'm going to show you some magic played in the beautiful Italy. And it's summer here, so in summer we Dutch people enjoy going to Italy. So this is like a small little summer holiday that we're going on today. And we're at the Prosecco Cup, a very cool tournament organized by the Venetian Alliance. And this is a match between Rolf Kielman, and he is playing, I'm going to call it Djinns and Vampires. It's a pretty cool deck. It's green and black mostly, but it has got the different colors in there as well. And he's taking on Andrea Braida, and he's playing with a Singleton deck. And I'm really liking it. It's so cool. I had to look at it because I first thought it was just a good stuff deck. But then I'm looking at it closer, I'm like, wait a minute, it's all Singleton. So that is pretty sweet. Now, like I said, we are at the Prosecco Cup, and at the Prosecco Cup, they have some custom-made rules. Now, you see it's happening more and more, right? Because people like the current old school rule sets, but there's always something they want to tweak, and I think that's just in the DNA of Magic players, isn't it? So I'm just going to explain to you the changes here. So they're playing Atlantic rules, but they made a few changes. So one of the changes they've made is that Hymn to Tourach, Jayemdae Tome, Mishra's Workshop, and Recall and Time Vault are all restricted. So all these cards are restricted. And just as a reminder, the Atlantic rule set does play with Mana Burn, and also the promotion cards from 1994 are allowed, and of course Fallen Empires as well. So I hope to have you informed now about the rules. If you want to know more about the rules, by the way, I always write down the rules in the description of the video. So please check the description of the video first, and then if you still have questions about the rules, of course, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Now, I guess you're now fully informed. Now, before I continue, first a message from our sponsor, 341 Trading. 341 Trading is one of Europe's leading Magic the Gathering retailers. Their online shop has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and yes, old school Magic players. They now exclusively offer my community free, fully insured, and fast worldwide shipping on all their high-end singles, full sets, and out-of-print sealed products. They upload new cards every Wednesday and have weekly sale offers and reductions waiting just for you. Use my code TIMMY to get free worldwide shipping on your first order over $500 or euros. Have fun ordering those cards, and thank you 341 Trading for sponsoring this video. And we are back and ready to dive into the deck text. I'm going to start with the player on the left, that is Rolf. Let's take a look at his deck. And here we see the deck of Rolf. So I've called it Djinns and Vamps. And maybe I should have called it Djinns and Hippies, because he's only playing with 2 Sengir Vampires and he's playing with 4 Hypnotic Specter. So maybe that would have made more sense. But the Djinn part, I hope you understand. There are Juzam Djinns in here, Erhnam Djinns in here, the beautiful creatures from Arabian Nights, big creatures as well. And when we're looking at this deck, right, we're seeing all the colors that are represented here, right? We see white, blue, black, red. Yeah, we've got all 5 colors in this deck, but I think the core of the deck is actually green and black, right? What you want to do with this deck is turn 1, you want to play your Birds of Paradise, then turn 2, ideally you want to have an Hypnotic Specter. Turn 3, you want to start playing out your Juzam Djinn or your Erhnam Djinn, just put a lot of pressure on early, and then of course you've got all those spells to kind of make sure you keep drawing cards, to make sure that your opponent, when he does something powerful, you have an answer to that. And of course, when I'm talking about answers, I'm talking about the white cards in this deck. We see 3 Swords to Plowshares, 2 Disenchants, and Armageddon. I think the Armageddon in this deck is really good because you have a lot of creatures. Your deck can go quite quick. So if you're really ahead on board, you can Armageddon the board and probably seal the deal for a victory, right? And then when we're looking at the green spells, we see 2 Sylvan Libraries. I think Sylvan Library, again, it's really important when you empty your hand quickly with the strategy I just unfolded, right? You're going to try to just play your creatures as quickly as possible, turn them sideways. It means you can empty your hand very quickly, also because he's playing with all the Moxen. And what are you going to do with an empty hand? You need to refill it. So there are some cards in here that will help you refill your hand. Sylvan Library is an important card for that purpose. We also see, of course, Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune, 2 cards that will give you a completely new hand. That's even better than a Sylvan. Although you're also giving your opponent cards. And what I also like is the combination of Sylvan Library with Time Twister, because with Time Twister, of course, you shuffle your deck again. So plus you get a new hand, but also the next turn you get to look at 3 fresh cards, which can be really good. Looking at the other 2 green cards, by the way, Regrowth, Berserk. Berserk, of course, really good in this creature-heavy strategy. You know, Berserk, a Juzam Djinn, you're dealing 10 trample damage. That is pretty substantial. Also, Regrowth is quite good in a deck where you're playing with power and so many singles. And then, of course, when we go to the red, that's right next to the green cards, we see Fireball. I like the 1-off Fireball. It's really good because it always gives you an option B to win the game. This deck wants to win very clearly through combat damage, but if that doesn't work for whatever reason, you've got your plan B, Fireball. Fireball is also a great finishing card. Talking about finishing, there's no counter magic in here, so he cannot have like mana drain backup when he casts a Fireball, so he has to time it right. But I mean, that's very, very possible, of course, to do. Also 1 Demonic Tutor here in the deck, so that's going to help him to find the cards that he needs. And a beautiful signed Hymn to Tourach. I'm not a fan of the card Hymn to Tourach. I'm actually happy that it's restricted here. I think it's going to create more fun gameplay, but I do like this beautiful signed Hymn to Tourach. It's very, very cool, Rolf. So yeah, this is the deck of Rolf, and now let's take a look at the deck of his opponent. And here we see the deck of Andrea. So I've called it Singleton Control because I feel like you see a lot of control cards in this deck, and it's actually not completely Singleton, right? If you zoom in, you see that he's playing with multiple Disenchants. He's playing with multiple Spell Blasts, which I think is pretty cool. I love the art of Spell Blast, by the way. Those colors are just beautiful. And there are some cards in here that I really like, but I think it's funny, right? He's playing with Spell Blasts, for example, over Counterspell. I guess because of all the different colors of mana, right? He's thinking about the mana base. I also like the way this deck is laid out. I really have to kind of investigate what's going on. So it's Singleton, but not completely Singleton. And again, showing the immense power of Disenchant, right? That you want to play Singleton, but you still decide to play with multiple Disenchants just because the card is that good. Remember, it's a common, but it's that good. We only see a few creatures in this deck, but the creatures are really cool and really beefy. We see Solkanar the Swamp King. We see a Shivan Dragon. I'm just going to go row by row, right? Just to go through the deck photo with you. We're seeing Mahamoti Djinn at the bottom. We're seeing Suchi, Juzam Djinn. And then we see a very controlling creature, Royal Assassin. I love that. And Royal Assassin also in combination with the Icy Manipulator. I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, this looks like a difficult deck to play against because the deck's got really good cards, but it's mainly Singleton, meaning it's really difficult for your opponent to kind of know, okay, what is he actually doing? What is his strategy? How do I sideboard against this? That's all very difficult with a deck like the deck that Andrea is playing. So I'm looking forward to kind of, see it in action and kind of see what kind of feel I get. What I'm also liking in this deck, by the way, is the inclusion of Fork. I think Fork is still a little bit underplayed. I think in a format with Power 9, Fork can be immensely powerful. You can fork your opponent's Ancestral Recall. You can counter a Time Walk with it by forking the Time Walk. And of course, you can start forking your own stuff as well. If your opponent plays a lethal Fireball, and we know that Rolf is playing with Fireball, you can also fork that and you can kill your opponent instead. So, there's just a lot of cool stuff you can do with Fork. I think Fork, it's a good card. It maybe should see more play. Maybe Andrea, you can show us today why Fork should be included in more decks. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, the downside of Fork is that double red, right? If Fork would be 1 red and 1, it would be splashed so much more. But it's double red, and actually I like that from a design point of view. I think I've said that in the past. What if Ancestral Recall would have been double blue? What if Mind Twist would be double black and X? What if, Balance would be double white? You need to commit a little bit more into the color pie. The cards would still be immensely powerful, but at least you need a little bit more imagination than just, I'm going to splash it, I'm going to splash it, I'm going to splash it. You need to be a little bit more creative. But okay, it is what it is. I think that's also the charm of Old School, the fact that certain cards are very unbalanced because, hey, this was the start of the game. They didn't have all the information yet. So that's also, you love it. I love it, and at the same time, I hate it. I don't know if you guys recognize that feeling where I'm like, oh, I think it's so cool that they made a huge mistake with the power level of this card and estimating how good this card actually is. And it's so much fun to play with it and do these broken things. At the same time, you're like, oh, I wish it was a little bit more balanced. But hey, I mean, that's playing Old School. That's part of the format. And if you play the format, that's kind of what you choose for. I mean, I haven't even talked about Library of Alexandria. And you know what? I'm not even going to do it because we're going to go to the game here between Rolf and Andrea, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's go. Prosecco Cup, baby. The Swiss rounds, Rolf versus Andrea. Game number 1 of the Prosecco Cup here is about to start. On the right we have Italian player Andrea. He is on the play. On the left we have Rolf, and he is from Austria. He's on the draw. There we see an Underground Sea and a Mox Sapphire. So Andrea playing mainly Singleton. Few cards that he's playing multiples of, like Disenchant and Spellblast, but the majority of the deck is all Singleton. And there we see Rolf here using a Strip Mine. There's a Black Lotus. Cracking the Lotus. Hypnotic Specter, very aggressive opener by Rolf, and I'm liking this sequencing, right? First taking care of the Underground Sea, making sure that Andrea cannot play a counterspell. Then I guess go to combat, second main, right? You crack the Lotus and you play out the Hypnotic Specter. So Hypnotic Specter on the board, an immediate problem for Andrea. Ooh, Black Lotus for Andrea. What are we going to see here? A little bit in the tank already for him, of course, wanting to find an answer to the Hypnotic Specter, but I guess if he had a bolt, he would have played it out already, playing a single bolt in his deck. That's, of course, the downside when you're playing Singleton. It's going to crack the Lotus here. Oh, there we see Brain Geyser. Yeah, going to draw 3 extra cards. You know, but at the end of the day, he's only going to gain 1 extra card with that Brain Geyser. Then he's going to lose to the Hypnotic. Still like the play, though. I think it's good because also you want to find an answer to that Hypnotic Specter. So you don't have the luxury to just wait and see. So here we see Rolf, of course, attacking Andrea, dropping to 18 and losing a card at random. That's a Badlands into the graveyard. Let's see what else Rolf can do here. In his second main, there's a City of Brass. Tapping the city, taking a damage. And oh, wow. Gonna draw 3 cards. Ancestral Recall, that's insane. Yeah, Rolf really has a great opening here. Has the tools he needs to put pressure on Andrea here. And Andrea needs to find an answer to that Hypnotic Specter ASAP. Gonna play a Badlands and just passed though, so didn't find an answer yet. That means he's gonna probably lose an extra card, unless of course he's got that bolt in hand. He can just instant speed during combat play the bolt. Nope, we're not gonna see it. Lots of shuffling of the cards. You could also consider doing it with the dice. Oh, losing the Royal. Oh, that's too bad for Andrea. That Royal would have been a really nice, classy answer to the Hypnotic Specter. So Royal Assassin gone. There we see a Soul Ring by Rolf. And Rolf passing the turn. I mean, he's having a good life, Rolf. You know, he's doing what he wants to do, is controlling the game, discarding the hand of Andrea. Oh, Control Magic. This is perfect for Andrea. Control Magic. That changes everything. I wonder if Rolf has Disenchant in hand. Both players playing with Disenchants. I believe 3 in the deck of Rolf, if I remember it correctly. So a little bit in the tank here. But giving the card here to Andrea. So he's going to get the tapped Hypnotic Specter. Untap, upkeep, and draw for Rolf. Finding a Dark Ritual, I believe. Oh, was that a Swords? Swords to Plowshares? Think so, but wanted to play at the Bayou. So Bayou hitting the board. Going to tap. There we see Dark Ritual. Gonna tap 2. What else are we gonna see? Okay, there's a Djinns Vampire 4/4 flyer. So that's of course a good blocker for the Hypnotic Specter. And now it's Andrea's turn. Let's see what he can do. I mean, at least he doesn't have to worry anymore about the Hypnotic like eating away his hand. It's going through the graveyard there, it seems. So I wonder if that means that perhaps he's got a recall. The cards in his graveyard, or I believe Black Lotus, Brain Geyser, Royal Assassin, and 2 lands, a Badlands and an Underground Sea. I mean, you could also consider getting back the Royal Assassin. Then again, he doesn't have double black to play it, and does it really help him? Brain Geyser could be an option. But also, Brain Geyser is not looking super here, because if you get it back with Recall, it means you use the Recall, a card in your hand, right? And then eventually you don't have a lot of mana sources as well. You can only draw 2 cards from Brain Geyser. You have to wait an entire turn. So yeah, I really wonder what he's going to get back here. Of course, we don't know what's in Andrea's hand. So perhaps he's looking, for example, for some mana fixing. So really in the tank, already tapped 3 mana here. So I really think we're going to see a Recall. Why else would he really stare down in his graveyard? So really taking his time. Probably going through all the options that he has. So there's the recall. Solkanar, the Swamp King, is going into the bin, I guess. And of course, yeah, exactly. The recall needs to be removed from the game. There we see Black Lotus. Cracking the Lotus immediately, it seems. What are we going to see? Oh, Time Twister. Oh, that's pretty cool. In response, are we going to see that Swords from Rolf that we saw earlier? That would make sense here. Swords on the Hypnotic Specter. Yeah, it's exactly what we see here. Swordsing the Hippie. It's going to gain 2, go up to 18. Yeah, this is sweet. This is sweet. Man, I love draw 7s, you know. Because it always creates fireworks. Now both players are going to start with 7 new cards in hand. Remember, it's still Andrea's turn. So they're both going to shuffle. Draw 7 new ones. And then we have a whole new game on our hands. And especially for Andrea, it must be so much fun to play his deck because there's so many singles. So you always kind of get surprised. Okay, so Rolf, they're putting the deck on the left. Now both players draw 7. There we go. And we have to wait and see what Andrea will do here. 7 cards in hand. We see Mishra's Factory. I believe I saw Spell Blast. There's a City of Brass there in his hand as well. Oh, and I guess now they're having one of the oldest Magic conversations that's known to Magic players. Did I play a land this turn? This is a thing. Oh, man. Let me think. I mean, Andrea was on the play, right? I mean, probably the players are doing the same thing. Andrea was on the play. So if he hit his land drop every single turn, he should be ahead of land, right? Both players have 3 lands. So that would, common sense would tell me, okay, Andrea should play a land here. He hasn't done it yet. But maybe, you know, he missed a land drop earlier. I'm not sure. There was, of course, that Strip Mine by Rolf at the opening. But I mean, that's a land for Rolf and a land for Andrea gone. So that keeps each other in balance. So yeah, exactly. I believe they're right here that Andrea didn't play out a land yet. So he's going to play City of Brass. And he's going to pass the turn back. No, he's going to tap the City of Brass or not. Okay, finally. Okay, we see some action. We see Spirit Link. Damage, of course, for Andrea. Spirit Link on the Sengir Vampire, passing the turn back to Rolf. Rolf has a regrowth here, but nothing in the graveyard, of course. That Hypnotic Specter is removed from the game by his own Swords to Plowshares. So attacking doesn't seem to be very sensible with that Spirit Link on the Sengir. And now it's, of course, Rolf's turn to take a moment. Has 8 cards in hand now after that Time Twister. Okay, putting cards separate. What does that mean? Putting them back. Okay, he's going to go for Dark Ritual. 3 black in the pool. What are we going to see here? Oh, there's a Hymn to Tourach for 2. Ay. Ancestral Recall in response. That makes sense, because remember, Hymn to Tourach is at random. Hymn to Tourach, of course, are restricted at this event. Well, I'm saying of course. I mean, Hymn to Tourach is restricted at this event. It's not that obvious. But the Prosecco Cup has some house rules. And the restriction of Hymn to Tourach is one of them. If you want to know more about the specific rules of the tournament, please check out the description below. Oh, is he going to get it back? That is so nasty, Rolf. That is so nasty. Oh. Working his way around the restriction, I guess. Still playing the Hymn to Tourach twice. That is very nasty. 2 more cards. Mahamoti Djinn and a Mishra's Factory. They're gone for Andrea. And I mean, yeah, this is a good turn for Rolf, right? I mean, he lost 2 cards, but Andrea lost 4. And Andrea's cards were lost at random. So destroying more than half of the hand here of Andrea. That's pretty devastating for him. Finding a Badlands here. Is playing with this Shivan Dragon. Would be cool to see the Shivan. Gonna tap 4. Okay, there's a Suchi. 4/4 from Antiquities. And we also see a Disenchant here. Now remember, this is a rule set where we play with mana burn. So if Suchi gets destroyed, he doesn't have an out for the mana. So he would take 4 points of damage. So can Rolf find a way to destroy the Suchi? That would be a double win for him. It would mean Andrea would lose his creature, but also take 4 points of damage. It's going to tap 1. We're going to see Birds of Paradise. And, okay, there's a Sylvan. I think that Sylvan is definitely necessary here for Rolf. Because it only has 3 cards left in hand there. Passing your turn to Andrea. Andrea drawing a second card, playing the city. Falling on the floor. Only 1 card left in hand. Gonna pass back here to Rolf. Let's see what he can do. Gonna draw 3 cards. Ooh, those are good cards. I believe I saw, was that an Icy Manipulator? And a Sengir Vampire. Gonna choose to put Sengir on top. Another Dark Ritual. And there's a Sengir Vampire. So second Sengir hitting the board. Ooh, are we going to see a Spell Blast here? Spell Blast! Oh, that's so cool. That's a while ago. The last time I saw a Spell Blast counter something that big. So Spell Blast, 1 blue and X. And the X has to be the casting cost of the spell that you're countering. In this case, the Sengir Vampire. So has to tap 6. He has the mana. And there's the Fist Bump by Rolf. Yeah, you got to respect that move. 2 cards left in hand, passing turn. Andrea, empty Jazz hands, drawing a card though. So 1 card back in his hand. Gonna tap. Ooh, Solkanar, the Swamp King. And this card's really good in this match. Oh, quick. Swords to Plowshares though, unfortunately. Does mean Andrea's gonna go back up to 20. And what I wanted to say is Solkanar is really good here because the creature has Swamp Walk. So could Swamp Walk all over Rolf. But unfortunately for Andrea, there was that quick Swords to Plowshares. Extra card drawn here by Rolf, so taking 4 points of damage from the Sylvan. Gonna drop to 13. I think he drew an artifact there. Couldn't quite make out the artifact. But maybe we're gonna find out this turn. 13 life here for Rolf. 20 life for Andrea. And Rolf has more cards, but and needs to find a way to put some pressure here on Andrea. So there we see the Chaos Orb. And now I wonder what he's going to do. Is he going to flip on the Suchi, deal 4 points of damage? Or is he going to flip on the Spirit Link? Or on something completely different, you know? I think I would go for the Suchi here. I mean, it just feels too good that you can destroy a creature on the side of your opponent and deal 4 damage at the same time. Another option, of course, is do nothing. I mean, that's what some players say as well. If there's no necessity to do it, okay, it's going to go for the Spirit Link. So it's going to go there for the Spirit Link. Going to stand up, take his time. Going to take some beer first. It's a good strategy. Oh, it's a hit. It's a hit. Okay. There's the attack for 4. Going to put him on 16. So I wonder if he's got a blocker for the Suchi then. Maybe he's just planning on taking the 4. The thing is, you've got Sylvan on board. So 4 damage basically means a card. Perhaps he's also planning to... Okay, we're going to see something else. Okay, a bird. So probably going to plan to just chump with the Birds of Paradise, I guess. There's the attack for 4. Yeah, he's going to chump with the bird. Oh, there's a Maze of If. Okay. We're back to square one, I guess, with this maze. Oh, Demonic Tutor there and a land. Has, of course, Wheel of Fortune in hand, by the way, Rolf. So could decide to go for a land wheel. But the problem is then your opponent is going to get back into the game as well, right? You're giving him 7 new cards. It's a fun thing to do. It's the cool thing to do. Is it the right thing to do? That's the question here. Could also go for Demonic. What I like about Demonic is that you shuffle your library afterwards, meaning the Sylvan has some value again. Could also decide to draw an extra card, go for land Demonic. Not sure what the third card is, by the way. Couldn't see that. So Rolf really needing a moment here, which is understandable. He's definitely considering playing out the wheel. And if you want to play out the wheel, then this decision is very important. The nice thing is with the wheel as well is that you then already know 2 cards of what you're going to draw thanks to the Sylvan Library. So you know that you're then going to draw into Demonic. Could look up a Time Walk. He doesn't have enough mana though to do all of that, I think. Let's think. If he chooses the land, right? He can do land or... Okay, he's going to go for an extra card. He's going to go to 8. Oh, he's got Dark Ritual. Then he's going to go for Demonic. So he's got 1 floating still. So I think he wants to go here for... Yeah, then he can do it. Now he can go Time Walk and Wheel of Fortune. I think that's what you want to do here. I wonder if Rolf drew the same conclusion. Because that Dark Ritual is giving just the right amount of mana that he needs to do this. Gonna tap 1, 2... Or is he gonna go... No, Mind Twist doesn't make sense. Oh, he's gonna Armageddon! Okay! Ho-ho! I didn't see that coming. He's gonna Armageddon! Wow! I guess that's an option too, but if you want to race, you're on 7. You're not gonna win that race. I mean, if you're the player on 16 and Andrea would have been on 7, then this would have been a very good move. But right now, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. There's the attack. Wow, he's so aggressive. Gonna put Andrea on 12. And now, of course, Andrea can attack next turn. Is he then going to jump with the birds? But it's only mana source. Is he going to? Is he going to do a race? But he's not going to win the race, right? Or am I missing something? If he chumps, he attacks next 8, then he attacks 3. No, he's not going to win the race, even if he chumps. I would just take the damage here, go to 3. Exactly. And then just, keep your Sengir on tap, but very risky magic here by Rolf. No lands there in the top 3 of his cards of his library. Ay. So could this be a devastating move? Attacking here again. Gonna put him on 8. Passing the turn. I do like this, from Rolf in a way. It's like kamikaze strategy here. I mean, he's on 3, cannot attack again, right? Oh, look at that. 2 Juzams and an Erhnam Djinn at the top. Oh my God. And like I said, I really expected him to go for Time Walk because I believe it was possible, right? Time Walk with wheel. Maybe I missed something. Anyway, he's going to go for Disenchant here. Passes the turn. Andrea just also passing. Both players looking for lands. And yeah, a land found. But look at that City of Brass. Yeah. It's going to hurt you as well. Okay, there's a Mox Jet. Okay, that's something. And he has a Disenchant. He can now Disenchant win the game. Oh, we see Spell Blast on the Mox. Oh my goodness. Those Spell Blasts are really working for Rolf. That is so cool. Spell Blast here on the Mox. Very relevant. Oh, there's a Chaos Orb. Is he going to win this? Oh, that Chaos Orb. He can flip it on the Sengir. Look at that. We see... Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. We see a Swords to Plowshares. Of course you want to Disenchant Suchi because when you Swords it, Andrea's not gonna lose life. Then again, you don't want to lose the game either. So, oh man, what a game this is. What a game number 1 between these 2 players. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Andrea drawing another card. Gonna tap 2. Gonna go Felverstone. Gonna tap to... use the Chaos Orb here. And now Rolf has to decide what he wants to do. If he wants to respond to this activation. I mean, Spell Blasting the Mox could be the key moment for Andrea, giving him here the game. Or else Rolf would have been able to play Disenchant on Suchi Andrea would have taken 4 damage. There's the flip. It's a hit. Sengir gone. He's going to attack. And now we're going to see, of course, that Swords to Plowshare. There's the swords. Andrea going back up to 12. Not taking any damage because it's not going to go to the graveyard. So players asking about this now, but you're not going to get any mana burn. Removed from the game, people. So he's going to go back up to 12. Okay, not quite sure what the players are doing right now. So probably still discussing what's happening here. But what an exciting end of this game 1, right? And Andrea's still in a very good position. I mean, look at Rolf. He's on 2 and his only land is the City of Brass. That is just horrible. I think, and it's easy, of course, in hindsight when you're looking at this. Exactly, he's going to go to 12. In hindsight, commenting on this, it's easy to say he shouldn't have picked up the Armageddon. I do think it's a cool move, though. He's going to go here for the Mox Emerald, passing the turn back to Andrea. Oh, there's a Psionic Blast. This is the end of the road. Psionic blasting his way to victory here in game number 1, it seems. But Rolf isn't extending the hand yet. Both players still talking. There's Disenchant. Yep, nothing he can do here. So Andrea winning game number 1. But remember, this is just the first game. And now both players are going to dive into their sideboards. And we will catch back up with them in game number 2. Game number 2. Here we go with, of course, Rolf on the play after losing that first game. Starting off with a Badlands and a Mox Ruby. There's a Dark Ritual into... Oh, he's back. Hypnotic Specter. Again, a turn 1 hippie. Well, actually, it was turn 2 for Rolf, right? In the first game. Anyway, early hippie. Andrea, again, kind of forced to try to find an answer here to the Hypnotic Specter. There's a Volcanic Island for him. Are we going to see a Lightning Bolt? That's the question. Gonna tap it. Okay, does he have the Bolt? Nope, Soul Ring instead. And there we see a Black Lotus. So does he have an answer? That's still the question. Oh, there's a Psionic Blast cracking the Lotus for that. Oh, Red Elemental Blast. Wow. Rolf here protecting the Hypnotic Specter. And this is devastating here for Andrea. Sacking his Lotus to make that play and then seeing that Red Elemental Blast. There's the attack for 2. So Andrea going to lose a card and drop to 18. Let's see what he's going to lose. He's going to lose a Mishra's Factory. There's another Mox Emerald passing the turn, so missing a land drop here. Andrea finding plains, basic plains. And in the tank here, trying to think about probably an answer here to the Hypnotic Specter. Gonna tap 3. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. What an explosive second game here. Wheel of Fortune in turn 2. And I'm liking this game already. So much happening. I mean, game 1 was fireworks, but game 2 has a very explosive start as well. There's the pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for Rolf. Attacking for 2 here. So again, Andrea losing a card. Of course, he has 7 in hand now after that wheel. Now back down to 6. Has to take 2 points of damage as well. Going to drop to 16. And I believe we also see a Wheel of Fortune there. Disenchant in hand. But remember, Rolf doesn't have any white or blue mana on the board. There's a Swamp. So perhaps he's missing those colors. Going to tap 3. Another Hypnotic Specter. Wow, that is big. That is a big deal. Passing the turn. So Andrea forgetting to take the damage here, I believe. Should be on 16. There's a Tundra for him. And now it's Andrea's turn to think. And he does have the mana to cast a Time Walk and has the Time Walk as well. So playing the Time Walk here. And there's a lightning bolt. Okay, taking care of one of the two Hypnotic Specters. And of course still has a turn coming up. Gonna start his extra turn here. Finding another duel, another Tundra here. Gonna tap 4. What are we gonna see for 4? Ooh, Icy Manipulator. Yeah, things are really looking up here for Andrea. Can Rolf do anything against the Icy? That's the question. Has a Disenchant in hand, but can he find a white mana? Okay, there's a Scrubland and a Tropical Island in hand, actually. Wow. That is interesting. So I wonder why he chose to play out that basic Swamp to just go for that other Hypnotic. I would have been tempted to do something else. There's the Disenchant here. One of the things he could have done here is play Tropical Island, take the extra turn, in the extra turn disenchant the tapped Icy, and attack with the Hippie as well, and take care, force Andrea to discard another card. But chose another line of play. Here we see the Birds of Paradise, and there's the pass. And there's the Swords to Plowshares here on end step by Andrea, so Rolf gonna go up to 22. And passing the turn here to Andrea. Let's see what he can do. Gonna tap 6. Oh, huge Brain Geyser. Brain Geyser for 4. Yeah, this is really good for Andrea that this Brain Geyser resolves. Refilling his hand again. It's looking good for him. There we see a City of Brass and a Mox Ruby. Looks like he's going to tap both. You're going to take a damage. Oh, Circle of Protection Black. Yeah, that could be a big problem for Rolf. Now remember, no, Rolf doesn't have to disenchant, of course, because he played it out already. So it doesn't have a disenchant anymore. There's the Tropical Island, though, so it could go for Time Walk. Going to go for Time Walk. And what else can he do? There's another Birds of Paradise. Gonna tap the other birds, gonna tap 2 more mana. Oh, there's a Time Twister. Okay, now I understand why Rolf wanted to keep the Time Walk in hand earlier, because of course Time Walk, Time Twister is great synergy. So now it makes sense. So both players shuffling up, gonna draw 7, and of course Rolf can take his extra turn if he wants to. Which is pretty good. And remember, Andrea stepped out, so he doesn't have to worry about Andrea using any counter magic. So a very exciting game here between these two players. Cutting each other's decks. Drawing 7 new cards. Ooh, Ancestral Recall from the top for Rolf. That's always a great start, right? When you already know you're going to have that extra turn, finding the Ancestral Recall. That is just amazing stuff. Let's see what he's going to do. Also has a red Elemental Blast in hand there. Going to play out the Mox Jet. Going to tap here the bird. I believe the bird still has Summoning Sickness, right or not? This is the thing with these turns with lots of draw 7s and extra turns, and you kind of lose track. Anyway, both players allow this to happen here. 3 cards for Rolf. Then he's on 8, so he should probably discard a card, I think. He's going to discard their duel. I believe it's a Savannah. Then he's going to take his extra turn after the Time Walk. Yep, so he's going to untap here. Going to draw a card for turn, so that means 8 cards in hand for him in total now after the draw step. Ooh, Chaos Orb found. Could flip if he wants to on COP Black. The thing is, if you know that you're playing against a player with a lot of counter spells like Andrea, I'm always tempted to, as soon as he taps out, to just do all those things, you know? Also has Disenchant in hand there. So first going to play out Djinns Vampire. Would be tempted here to just disenchant main. There's a dual land, the scrub land. And what else is he going to do? Is he going to disenchant main? Nope, gonna play at Chaos Orb. Passing the turn, yeah. Again, I think I would have been tempted to just maybe even flip main because Andrea stepped out. You don't have to worry about Disenchant or Divine Offering or any other stuff. But that's just me. Let's see what Andrea can do here in his turn. Oh, Ancestral Recall as well. Rolf, of course, has that Red Elemental Blast. Exactly, Red Elemental Blast. Tapping 2. Oh, Spell Blast! I mean, that's Spell Blasts, man. That card's looking so good in the hands of Andrea. I swear to you, when I play with it, it's just bad. But when Andrea plays with it, it's a good card. Man, oh man. To be honest, like, I choose Power Sync over Spell Blast. But, yeah, when I see this match, definitely Spell Blast is an MVP. The MVP, I should say. At least thus far, let's first see how this match ends up, how this game ends up. Game number 2 here. Swiss Rounds Prosecco Cup 2025. Tapping down the Tundra. And okay, there's a Spirit Link. So Spirit Link on the Sengir. And on end step here we see Disenchant. So I wonder if he's going to go for COP Black or... Okay, so it looks like he's going to go for the Spirit Link. There's a counterspell, though. Spell Blast again, by the way. Wow. Spell Blast doing work. So again, taking care of business. And Rolf, yeah, has to deal with all these Spell Blasts. And now Rolf, at least Rolf now knows that 2 Spell Blasts are gone already. And like I said, Andrea is playing mainly Singleton, but Spell Blast and Disenchant, I believe, were the only 2 cards that he's playing multiple copies of. He's going to tap 2. There's a Regrowth. Okay, so he could get back to Disenchant, exactly. Disenchant. And he's going to go for Spirit Link again. I would go for Circle of Protection Black, to be honest. And I know he's got Chaos Orb. He can flip Chaos Orb, but what if you miss the flip? You know, I'd rather miss it on Spirit Link than on COP Black. And it looks like he's going to activate the Chaos Orb. In response, of course, Rolf or Andrea is going to use the COP Black a few times to prevent future damage from the Sengir, which will only work until the end of turn, but still, it will save him up 4 points of damage. So that's a good decision. It's a hit, by the way. COP Black gone. Going to tap 3 more. Okay, there's Hypnotic Specter. So, I mean, this is good. It's looking good for Rolf again. If nothing happens next turn, he can just attack for 6. Okay, already see a bolt there. I know it was a big if. Andrea dropping to 16 from his own City of Brass. Oh, and we see a die there on the table, by the way. I missed that. That means they're in their last 5 turns because they're playing Tournament Magic. And after 50 minutes, then you run out of time and you've got usually 5 more turns to finish the game. Or it ends up in a draw. So this is actually the 2nd turn already. And now Rolf has taken the 3rd turn. We see a Shivan hitting the board as well. And maybe you're wondering, hey, but Timmy, this video is not 50 minutes long. Well, first of all, I speeded up the video. So it's going at 120% speed instead of the normal speed. And the second reason is that, of course, you don't see the players shuffle. You don't see them talk to each other. Well, you see them talk to each other now. But, you know, I'm cutting to just the gameplay. And of course, there's a lot more happening in those 50 minutes. I know there are also some tournament organizers that have extended the time to 55 minutes or even an hour. But that's always a difficult decision to make. Because you always have to think about the time, the amount of time that people also have to play. So Rolf here, it's Rolf's turn. He's playing a him to Tourach, but I think it's looking really bad for Rolf because after the 5 turns, the game will automatically stop. That means game 2 will become a draw, most likely. And because Andrea won the first game, Andrea is going to win the match. So 2 cards lost here. That's a Mahamoti Djinn and I believe a land or another card, at least I cannot identify. So after this, Rolf will only have 1 more turn and Andrea will only have 1 more turn. So here we see a strip mine. There's the pass. So this is turn number 4. There's a land here. And of course, Andrea just passing because he is in a winning position. There's a Juzam Djinn from the top for Rolf, but that's not going to do much though. So I believe that means a draw here in game 2, and that means that Andrea will win the match. But let's wait until Rolf extends the hand. Maybe he's got some kind of secret tech that I'm not aware about. Yep, extending the hand. Andrea winning here at the Prosecco Cup. So winning that first game, a draw in the second. So congratulations, Andrea, with your deck. I have to say your deck is looking really cool. It's looking like a lot of fun to pilot because of all those Singleton cards. Thank you for showing your skills here on the channel. Also for Rolf, I really enjoyed this match. I hope you liked it as well. If you did, please consider liking this video, sharing it on your socials, and leaving a comment down below. That really helps the channel move forward. Talking about moving forward, you can also become a patron of the show. Check out patreon.com/TimmyTalks for all the information.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, putting in the longboat until he's sober. Putting in the longboat until he's sober. Putting in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. She rises early in the morning. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Early in the morning. Way hey up she rises. Way hey up she rises. Way hey up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Put him in the scout to the husband, son. Put him in the scout to the husband, son. Put him in the scout to the husband, son. Early in the morning, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises early in the morning.
Igitus figitus somba kazi.